Hello everyone, my name is Jared Links and I'm the owner here at Simple Bites of Life. I hope that you're having a great day and I hope you're having a great beekeeping season so far. It is prime time for beekeeping, isn't it? I mean, it's here in the month of May and we are producing a lot of nectar, a lot of pollen. Honey production is just, it's coming in as beekeepers right now and it's crazy. If you harvest once or you harvest twice, either way you're probably nearing a honey harvest here in the next month or two. And it's a great time to be in the thick of beekeeping right now in the prime time of the season. And what I want to talk with you about in this video is a little bit of the behind the scenes, the background work of beekeeping. And some things that are going to help to stay organized as beekeepers, some things that I found helpful over the course of my time as a beekeeper. And really, this is how do you keep track of the history of your colonies? How are you keeping track of your beehives throughout the course of a season? We have some free resources for you here at Simple Bites of Life, a field inspection sheet and a colony inspection sheet for your computer as well to keep a whole backlog of your colonies over the course of their entire life. And I want to talk a little bit about this and the benefit of taking good notes as a beekeeper. It's something that would be so easy for us just to skip over. It's something I didn't do my first year. I didn't start doing this until my second year of beekeeping, and then really got into it in the third year and just found out this is super helpful. This is super beneficial. And let me give you a couple of reasons why. If I'm just going out into my colonies and I'm not actually taking notes, I have no way to look back at the history of them. I'm really lost as to what's going on year to year as a beekeeper, and even what's going on in that colony's history that they have a history of needing extra help with. So just as one example, I can look back because I do take notes and I can see in 2023 I didn't add a third super until the month of April. This year in 2024 I added third supers on the bulk of my colonies in the month of March. Okay, first week of the month of March. Huge difference. Now that's for a few different reasons, how I chose to do my splits this year, goals in terms of honey production this year, and all that I want to try to maximize towards. But I can actually look back and I can see, you know what? This is the history of that. I can look back on a colony. Let's say I lose one of my colonies over the winter. Well, what was that colony's mite count over the course of this season and last season? I can look back, and because I have a consistent record of every mite test that I've performed on that colony, I can see their history. I can see where they trended. I can see where they didn't do well. I can even see what mite treatments have done well in the past and what mite treatments haven't done as well. And so keeping notes as a beekeeper, it's huge. The question, how do you do that in a way that's time effective? That's where we want to come in and try to help with some free resources here in this video, and I want to talk about a couple of things. So first of all, I want to show you just this colony inspection sheet. This is kind of the master document that you would keep on your computer, and so you can see a couple of things here. Obviously you have your date. So I have 3 sample colonies in here. Just let's say you have one yard number here, your bee yard number 1, your hive number 1, 2, and 3. And the first thing you're going to take note of is obviously the date and the fact that there are no bees on the outside. So if you find a huge pile of dead bees, you want to take note of that. If you see that it's not present, then you just put, okay, well, no dead bees. And then you have all of these different frame types, and you'll see on the very right side of this there's a frame code. So you're looking for nectar, you're looking for larvae, eggs, pollen, capped brood, and capped honey. Those are the things that you want to find present in your inspections, that you want to see, okay, they're having all the food stores they need. They have bees at every stage of development. The queen is still laying here very recently with the presence of eggs. We know that. And so you want to make sure that you see those things on the inspection whenever you go through there. And so you're able to take note of these things. And so you can see here in hive number 1, it had everything, right? Hive number 2 had everything, but hive number 3, guess what? We had no larvae, we had no eggs. That's signs that we need a queen bee. And so what do we put in the extra notes section? We said need to add a queen to this colony. And so we know, okay, this is the colony we need to add a queen to. Whenever you have 3 hives, again, you can look back at the history of that, but then whenever you have, 30, 40, 50 plus hives, it's hard to keep track and remember exactly which colony is going to need a queen, which colony doesn't. This gives you a concrete way to keep track of that. We're also keeping track of things like, okay, if we see eggs, we know they have a queen, so we're going to check yes on that. If they don't have a queen, we're going to check no. So hive numbers 1 and 2 do have queens. Hive number 3 does not. We did not do a mite treatment on any of the colonies. If we did, we would actually go ahead and check that as a yes, and then in the extra notes section we would say we did an apgar treatment, we did an oxalic acid treatment, whatever the specific one that you used is. And then if we did a mite test, we're going to make note of that here. And so we can see on 5/17/24 we tested hive number 2 and they had a mite count of 5 out of 300. 5 out of 300. So now we can look back on that and have that for historical reference, but we can also project into the future of what their mite count is going to be. So if that mite count was at 5 out of 300 here, you know, in a few weeks, if they double every brood cycle, you know, you can do the math on that, and we're going to have issues here pretty quickly, quite possibly. So we also had no pests or diseases. If you see, you know, hive beetles, you would check that as yes, and you would mark hive beetles in the extra notes section. Something along those lines. You have a major ant problem, you say yes, we have pests, and we mark ants in the extra notes section. And so you can look back and you can reference this over the course of your history as a beekeeper. And it's super helpful for seeing you, like I said, telling you, like I said, you know, if I'm putting on honey supers a month earlier, I can tell that this year. If I'm having a curiosity about what my mite numbers have been and how they're comparing to previous years, I can look at that. Just hugely helpful. And the way that it's really easy to do in the actual colonies while you're inspecting is we also have a field inspection sheet. This is where just a handy dandy clipboard and a pen comes in to play, and you just go through this sheet and you say the outward, we didn't have any dead bees, the frames, if you see everything you need to see, you just put a check mark on that section. If you don't have eggs or larvae in the frame section, you would just say no eggs or larvae, something like that. You can come up with a system that is good for you. Queen, yes. Mite treatment, no. We didn't test any mites, treat any mites. If we did do a mite test, like an alcohol wash, we would go ahead and we would say, okay, well, we saw 3 mites out of 300 bees in that, so we have that percentage, no pests or diseases, and then we just jot down our extra notes while we're in the bee yard. Really easy, guys. It really easy. I have 30, you know, I have almost 30 colonies, and I just spend, you know, a couple of minutes taking these notes over the course of all the inspections, and it is so worth it. So we have a email sign up as a company, Simple Bites of Life. You can find the link to that below. Subscribe to our email list, and we will send you the colony inspection sheet and the field inspection sheet for free for you to be able to use in your bee yard. I can tell you it is a huge tool. It is a behind the scenes tool. It's something that's easy to overlook. I've overlooked it before whenever I first started beekeeping. Don't do that. You're going to find this to be super helpful, whether it's using our tools or somebody else's or your own that you've designed. It's going to be a huge benefit to you. So I hope that this was a helpful video. Be sure, while you're in the thick of bee season, take those notes so you can look back. You're going to be glad that you did, and you're going to be helped as a beekeeper to have healthier hives. I wish you the best this beekeeping season. We will see you in the next video. God bless.